Wait, stop self-snitching. Wait, who was a self-snitcher? Who did we watch recently that was a self-snitcher? Oh, Stephanie Lazares. Yes, on JCS. All right.
The Amber Heard team. Now, notice there was just one brief statement from the Johnny Depp team, just thanking everybody, and and it was.
Wait, is his head cut off?
It was very short, very sweet, and that's it. You haven't seen them make the rounds on the talk show circuit. They may or may not, but I think here's the problem that Amber Heard's team has. They're going forward and making statements that she's a domestic abuse victim, and they don't have a verdict to support that. But let's kind of watch what Elaine had to say, and then I'll react to it on the other side.
Let's reveal this a little bit.
Not a lot of people, but some people talk about this notion that this has set the women's movement back, or the Me Too movement back. The light of day is not going to put any movement back. Facts are what rule the day. And if a woman is to be believed, which they should be believed, but it should withstand scrutiny, and the facts got in the way of Amber Heard.
Amber Heard got in the way of Amber Heard. Elaine got in the way of Amber Heard.
Carlson Bredehoff is the attorney for Amber Heard, and is with us now. And we should mention, we did also reach out to Johnny Depp.
I don't know why the audio sounds like we're in a fishbowl, but that's not me. I think that's this person's video, I think.
A major setback for women. For women in...
Bullshit.
I love it. Yeah, so I'm not going to comment on Elaine today because we've already done that. I'll comment on his reaction.
Amber had an enormous amount of evidence, although a lot of it was suppressed in this case as opposed to the UK.
So Amber Heard had a lot of evidence. She didn't have any photographs of any injuries, and there were several rebuttal witnesses.
The only photograph that she had was a bruise on her arm. But when she explained what happened, this was explained in the UK trial, there was so much change to that story, because that was the only picture that was legit to me. It was like, okay, there's a bruise in her arm, but it doesn't explain, like, well, I mean, you could have gotten a bruise differently, right? There could have been something else that happened to you that caused that bruise on your arm. That's why, like, when I saw the bruise on the arm, that's when she said that, oh, this was... Johnny Depp, like, pushed me down, held me so hard that I had a bruise on my arm, and then, like, my face was fucked up. And that's why Camille was asking her, hey, if your face was fucked up, why did you not take a picture of your face? Why did you only take a picture of the bruise on your arm? Quick little recap. I don't know if that was, like, good enough for you guys to follow the story, but yeah, so the only legit picture that she had was a bruise on her arm, but then again, the story surrounding it was a little bit weird to me.
Witnesses who completely contradicted her. And in fact, she didn't have really hardly any witnesses that corroborated her to a degree that she was discredited on rebuttal.
All these women who suffer from domestic violence, domestic abuse, they don't have...
I love Better Call Saul. Oh yeah, that's also another top TV show for me. I love Better Call Saul. I can't wait for the new season. I think it's already out, but it's not on Netflix yet.
Evidence. And basically what this jury said is, unless you pull out your cell phone and you tape record your spouse beating you.
That isn't what they said. There were so many things that were absolutely provably false. And I think that's, remember what I said a while back? Falso in uno, falso in omnibus. If you're lying about one thing, you're lying about everything. That's the credibility of a witness.
They did not believe her. Why do you think they did not believe her?
I think that...
Elaine again, looking to the top left. They didn't believe her because she was lying. She was bullshitting.
Not the facts of the case. No. It couldn't be that they shoved a bunch of rebuttal witnesses up her ass and completely contradicted her with facts. It has nothing to do with Johnny Depp. Why weren't there, she goes to the courthouse with a bruise on her face, supposedly, 6 days after she had seen him with no makeup on. And she didn't set that up. She set that up.
I think the celebrity status,
but she's a celebrity too.
And it's
yeah, man, watching this interview is so hard. Holy shit. Just watching Elaine getting grilled. Like, to me, it's not that satisfying to see Elaine getting grilled. It's satisfying to see Amber Heard because all the lies came from her. But like to see Elaine up on here, I still kind of feel sorry for her, even though I hate what she said.
She's a celebrity too.
Right.
Here's the problem. You're on this losing side. To be honest with you, nothing can be gained by her making this appearance on TV, honestly.
And then blaming everyone, blaming the world, blaming Johnny Depp, blaming the fans, blaming the jury.
I think it was smart for the Depp team to decline and not be public about this. I'm sure Johnny Depp says, I don't want this. I don't want you to trash her. I don't want you to say anything about her. And now you've got Elaine kind of going ham on Johnny Depp.
But you have to remember,
Does Elaine genuinely believe her side of things? I mean, when you're a lawyer, you have to set aside your personal thoughts and then your business thoughts, right? You gotta separate between the two.
Tale of two trials. All the evidence came
Doesn't matter what she thinks.
in the UK. Mr. Depp brought that one. The burden
client
of
is the
proof
priority.
was on the son.
See, in the UK, Amber Heard wasn't a defendant. So it just was. It's not really analogous at all.
Well, it's a different system, and the judge, it wasn't a jury, it was a judge.
I'm so glad they call her out for this. Oh my God. I'm so glad these news anchors called her out.
Substantially.
And it's a completely different set of facts in terms of, you've got different parties. And whatever that verdict over there was has no bearing on what the jury is going to consider in this case.
Really true. And that is significant, and I think surprised a lot of legal analysts.
I love that he threw that in. It surprised a lot of legal analysts.
But, in this case, the jury not only didn't believe Amber Heard, but in ruling that she acted with actual malice, that means she had the intent to cause
this interview
harm,
was so
right? That's
bad
a pretty
for them.
high standard to have proven.
And it's pretty amazing since the op-ed never even mentioned Mr. Depp.
But didn't Amber Heard, in her testimony, she said it was about him. And then the jury...
She said it fucking during a rebuttal too. Dude, when Camille was going off on her and she was under pressure, she fucking said a lot of things. A lot of things slipped out of her mouth.
believed her when she said that.
Yeah, go watch the Amber Heard rebuttal cross-examination. They shouldn't have put her up for rebuttal as a rebuttal witness. It did so much harm.
In the United States. But the other problem is we had cameras in the courtroom. So here we had not only did
It's everybody's fault but mine.
we have a group of Depp fans that were there.
Look at the anchors. I feel like none of them are buying it. They're like, can't believe we got to give this lady airtime.
But we had everything on camera, and and I fought hard and lost that battle. It should not have happened.
Most laws about cameras in the courtroom, if one party wants them in, they come in.
So I am a former NFL player.
Oh, I love this part.
After a hard loss, it's easy to wake up and point to the other side. Do you feel like you guys made any mistakes along the way? Do you feel like Amber made a mistake while she was on the stand? Because you're saying it's the celebrity, it's Johnny, it's the people who support him.
Excellent point. And the thing about it is, it's really hard for somebody who charges about $6 million to defend Amber Heard to say they made a mistake. And you sit there, she's not going to self-snitch. I mean, that's just not what she's going to do.
Well, and that's an excellent question. And to say, and Amber even said on the stand, I am not perfect.
Okay, let's blame Amber.
I am a human being. These people were giving her death threats. They threatened to microwave her.
You see that? When asked with a really hard question that she can't answer, she also takes the Amber Heard approach. She goes to an extreme. How, Elaine, what is something you could have done better? Well, Amber Heard had threats that they were going to microwave her baby. They tried to throw something shocking just to distract the person that asked the question. Nah, bitch, we still remember what the original question was.
Baby. This is the kind of social
Look at his face. He's like...
media she was getting.
So microwaving the baby is why you lost the case. That's something you did wrong?
I redo my closings 100 times.
Bullshit. I don't...
Oh, man, what a mess. What a mess. AH team strategy. Deflect and redirect and blame. Aren't these strategies employed by like a narcissist?
Bullshit. I don't redo my closing 100 times. If you literally redid your closing 100 times, guess what? You're indecisive.
That's what I said. I was like, there's no way I believe Elaine does read the closing 100 times. Maybe in her head, she might recite some things that she thought she had done a little bit better, but I don't think she like sits there and redoes her fucking closing.
Then you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Pardon my French.
I have to believe that the jury, even though they're told not to go and look at anything, they have weak.
So now it's the jury's fault for looking at social media.
It's everyone's fault.
So I mean, so it's the judge. It's Amber's imperfect. She's pointing any fingers back at herself. No.
Depp's team approached this was based on ignorance of domestic violence.
The way the Depp team approaches is to kick your ass.
It completely ignored the cycle of violence.
So you thought that they weren't fighting fair?
Correct. I don't think they were fighting fair.
Objection. Objection. Objection.
Meanwhile, remember towards the end when they submitted like pictures that were like photoshopped of Johnny? There was like a picture of him with the baby, and they're like, look, see, you already had the bruise before you boarded the train. But then, like, we found the person's Instagram of the baby and Johnny Depp, and it was like, there's no bruise there. They clearly made the picture darker. Like, I'm not saying that her lawyers did it, but I'm saying that, like, it's whoever the fuck they're hiring, or I don't know, somebody's making these pictures darker and submitting as evidence.
Judge. I'm trying. I mean, what the hell?
I think Amber Heard is, in fact, a survivor of domestic violence.
Yes, I absolutely believe that, and there's a tremendous amount of evidence.
The problem is she could run into some defamation problems herself.
Yeah.
Much of which did not come into this trial.
You said in the chat
didn't
earlier.
come into the UK trial. We even had more evidence. We had medical records. We had mental health records that went back to 2012.
So how is she today, Elaine? How is she today? What is her next move?
Like, these evidence would have been important if there was more other supporting evidence and witnesses that support Amber Heard's claim. But I mean, you guys, remember how Amber Heard lied about fucking Aquaman? She was like, oh yeah, because Johnny Depp is suing me. That's the reason why Aquaman 2 decided to cut my time a little bit and not give me a pay increase. And then we find out that, like, her and her team knew the entire time that the reason why they wanted to cut her from Aquaman was because there was a lack of chemistry. And they knew that. But they tried to spin it and say that it was Johnny Depp's fault. Like, just too many lies. They probably didn't expect the Warner Brothers dude to come out and get fucking questioned by Johnny Depp's lawyers.
Her next move is appeal. There were
she's heartbroken.
She is.
She ain't gonna appeal it. She's worth what? Negative $8 million. She's donated $7 million synonymously with pledged to a couple charities, and now she owes 8.3. So she's worth the negative $8 million and net worth, and so is she going to have to now put a bond up? She's going to have to put a bond up for at least $10 million plus. That's the amount of the judgment plus attorneys.
I don't know if this is true or not, but I saw like there was like a YouTube thumbnail or something. It was like Amber Heard's GoFundMe got shut down.
Felt like she had let down all of these women because she had.
Well, she did, because she used the fake domestic abuse to further her ends.
Had more evidence than most people do, and yet they still didn't believe her.
Elaine Charleston, Bredehoff, thank you so much for.
So that's her on the ABC Morning Show. Let's just take a glimpse. I'm not going to play the whole thing, but let's see what happens with her on the Today Show.
Amber Heard's attorney, Elaine Charleston, Bredehoff, good morning to you.
Well, I didn't think that she made it. I didn't think that she made it for herself. I figured like it was a fan that made it for her to try to like crowdfund the money to pay for her lawyer's fees and stuff like that, and to pay Johnny back. Or it could have just been a scammer too. There could have been a scammer that's like, oh yeah, let me just make this, and then we'll say that we're going to give it to Amber Heard, but I'm just going to keep all the money to myself.
Well, knowing the case and knowing the law as you certainly do,
doesn't it sound like knowing the case and knowing the lies you certainly do? I don't know what she said, but it sounds like she said lies, right?
Knowing the case and knowing the law as you certainly do, it favors defendants like
I couldn't figure out what she was saying.
Amber Heard. Are you stunned that the jury essentially rejected her story?
Well, really what happened here is it's a tale of two trials.
Sounds similar?
Johnny Depp brought a suit in the UK for the same case.
It isn't the same case. It is not the same case. It was a case against a newspaper. Totally different process there. Totally different standard. And you only have one fact finder, and that is the judge in that case.
So what did Depp's team learn from this? Demonize Amber and suppress the evidence.
In other words, challenge the facts.
We had an enormous amount of evidence that was.
I'm not going to play the rest of it, but you get the gist. I don't think it's wise for Elaine to go on these shows. I mean, you're the losing side, and you're not taking any responsibility for losing, and everybody has a problem except for you. This is the jury's problem. It's the judge's problem. It's the Depp team.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of people picked up on this, and I'm glad that they did.
You got your ass kicked, and guess what you do when you get your ass kicked? Because I've gotten my ass kicked many times. You shut the fuck up, and you just kind of move along your way. And you go on to the next case.
I'm not familiar with this
I
UK
really doubt that
trial
Amber Heard is
vernacular
going
shit.
to appeal.
This
has just been a little bit of Elaine. And one other issue came up. A TikToker is claiming to be a juror and said that most of the people in the on the jury wanted to give him the $50 million that he was asking for, 2 holdouts, and so they compromised. And that's what I thought all along. I thought they did prove their damages pretty well, but the $2 million for Amber and the $15 million for Johnny Depp, that seemed like a compromise verdict to me. And compromise is something that happens all the time with these verdicts. So,
all right, cool. There's a body. I mean, we should have watched this before because I don't want to rewatch Elaine's interview again. I'm sick of it.